Now, speaking of makeovers, when Roisin O'Hagan went to hang out with Ray D'Arcy for Shave or Die, she got a slightly different makeover at the hands of an RTE presenter. You're a brave woman. To let Miriam shave your head off?
I did threaten her with a suit when she said she'd settle for a child, so I said, no, I have enough. So. It's good.
Roisin, it's great that you could join us,
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, especially on a day like today.
Yeah.
Just trace the journey of, your cancer. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, my sister Etna was diagnosed in 2003, and because of her circumstance, all the family got focused and followed up with their own medical checks. And a year later, I was found a 5 centimetre. I didn't. My doctor found a 5 centimetre lump in my left breast. I was rushed through the system, and breast cancer wasn't diagnosed as cancer first. It was cancer afterwards, from the point of view of the biopsy, and then went through the process of surgery, chemo, and radiotherapy over 2005.
Roisin, was it devastating when, I know you're listing off, I got this, and I can just imagine how terrible it must be after your sister was diagnosed with breast cancer and then you were diagnosed.
Well, it was a shock, obviously. The only thing I held on to was that it was pre-cancerous lump initially. It presented with no pains or aches, so I was perfectly healthy. I wasn't sick as such. And then I just dealt with it and was proactive because it was treatable, and it was. So I had 2 young babies at the time, and that's all I focused on. I was focusing on being a mammy for them and being around for them. So,
what was that like with the family, with the other siblings? Because you're from a large family, family of 9, and I know Ethna had died. How did the rest of the siblings?
Well, we're a very close family, very close, and the support system there helps so much, and we're very open. And that's part of the reason why, I'm sharing my experience, because it affects everybody. So by sharing, it helps other people.
Well, Gráinne's here. You don't mind if I have a quick word? Hi, Gráinne. How are you? You're very welcome to the show. Now, earlier it was funny because Roisin was saying, there's my PA, Gráinne. My sister is like my PA. I mean, after all you went through with Etna, it must have been devastating for the family then.
Yes, it is. But, she's so positive, Roisin. I mean, everything that she's going through now, again, like, she's smiling all the time. I mean, all our family, we're all really behind her, and she's so positive, and that's what it's all about, being positive.
But there is a message in it, like, because of Etna's diagnosis, you all went to be tested, and there's something in that we should all do that.
The thing is, you can't be complacent with your health.
No.
My brother, like we said, who had the operation, had brain surgery 2 weeks ago, who's fine now and on recovery. I think he quoted something like, good health is a crown that only the sick can see, something like that. But it's a case of when you have an opportunity to look after yourself, you can't be complacent with your health.
Roisin, you had 8 wonderful years, and your world fell apart again in January.
It was dramatically. It was like, again, world turned over. But the only thing I can say, that the team in the matter are amazing. I'm under Professor McCaffrey, and he's such a sweet man. He had to pass the news over to me, and when we got the news, the word that I held on to was treatable.
What was the news, Roisin?
It's everywhere, but it's treatable, and that to me is hope.
Whereabouts do you have the cancer now?
It presented initially in my liver. That's what I presented with. So they did a couple of biopsies. We didn't get the results, but they basically, it's in my lymph and in my bones, and it's the worst case. It's 4th stage. It's not something anybody wants to hear, but when you hear it, you deal with it.
No. You started your treatment already?
Yes, I've had full head radiotherapy in Luke's the last 10 days. Just finished it on Wednesday.
And you're going to start chemotherapy?
Chemotherapy in 3 weeks' time. I have a holiday in between.
You're amazing. How do you stay so positive?
There isn't much choice. Why would I go the other side? If I have a limited amount of time, I'm going to use it. I'm going to enjoy it, and I plan to be a grandmother someday. So,
do you ever have quieter moments?
Oh God, yeah. I have liberating emotional moments, but it's actually quite a cleansing experience when you allow yourself to actually feel the emotions. It's quite a surreal. I suppose you wouldn't really. If you read the self-help books, you find people who have these experiences. Everything focuses down to the basic core things, which is life. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Do you manage to stay in the moment?
Yeah, pretty much. And when I feel down, I let it go. I don't let the emotions hold me. I feel them and let them go.
It's funny because I remember when my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then she started the treatment. I thought, because I interviewed so many people, women on the afternoon show about breast cancer, and you think you know everything about it, and you think you know everything about cancer, and saying things were like, it'll be tough now when you start the treatment, and I know it will. And she looked at me and she said, no, you haven't a clue. It's only tough on the second day. That people think they know more than they do. So should we shut up when we...
No. The whole point is everybody's affected by cancer. Whether you have it or whether a loved one has it, it's not easy either way. It's sometimes easier to be, I explained this on Ray Darcy's actually, when you're on stage, which we are today, we're performing and then the audience are watching. They're seeing a cancer patient, but I'm not seeing the cancer patient, I'm just me, you know. So it's a way of interacting, but and it doesn't have to be a scary thing. Just talk. That's, you know, if you're say the things you want to say.
I think that's sometimes the most difficult thing, because this week Dr. Paul Dalton, he's a psycho-oncologist at Vincent's, he brought out a very, very good 10-point plan, because, you know, Roisin, you and I were talking about the fact I lived with somebody with cancer and how difficult it is for people to know how to react. I mean, is there ever the right thing to say?
There's never the wrong thing to say. You just say it, because I mean, my good husband has heard a few things from my mouth that he probably wouldn't want to repeat. But you just have to say it. And I think, if anything, it's because the focus is there, and because you have something in the background telling you, you know, don't not say it, because you don't want to regret not saying it. Just get it out there.
Does it help? People talk all the time about battling cancer and it's a fight and you must be positive, and there's kind of a spurious notion that if you're always happy and positive that you'll beat the cancer somehow. But do you get tired of people saying that?
I would say intolerant would be a better word in terms of I have I'm much more open in terms of when people upset me, I'll tell them, like, you know, ease off on that, or no, I know that, or you know, I don't need your advice, I'm happy, you know, whatever. But the positiveness is empowering, because as we all know, when you feel like misery loves company, sometimes when you get down, you can get down again, and you know, just shake it off and move on.
And you know, if it's somebody you don't, you know, if it's somebody you know at work, but you know, you're not, say it's not your sister or your partner. I know you're both in a very different place to me, and I don't have that experience. But when it's somebody you don't know, what can you say?
Sometimes it's just go for coffee, or you could just change the scenery, or just do something different. It doesn't have to be, oh, you know, the classic one is that when people see somebody like me full of steroids and like cancer head on me, and they go, oh, you know, and they're like, and I go, I'm not that bad. I'm not, you know, I don't feel unwell.
So
I
they
feel
put
good.
the sad face on.
It's like, chill, it's okay. Let's go for a pint.
Roisin, you have two beautiful daughters, and of course they've a particular mantra for you, don't they?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. My two daughters, 9 and 10, reacted to the news, but they were told straight up what the situation was. And the first one was like, you know, Mammy, if you got cancer, you're going to die. And I said, well, unfortunately, everybody has to die sometime, but I'm not going anywhere soon. So that was the first answer. And the other one was my elder daughter, Alicia, said, cancer, okay, eye cancer. And she went on to explain that that's a positive thing. We can. Eye cancer be. The sir part, because they're half Portuguese, is to be. So I can, sir, means I can be.
And they're with you.
And they're here.
Yeah, they're outside.
Alicia and Katharina, should we have a quick wave with them?
Hi.
Hi, girls.
Hi.
I'm sure they're so proud of their mom. Roisin, it was a real privilege talking to you. Thanks for coming in and sharing your story today.
You're
Have a
welcome.
lovely weekend. Thanks to Grania as well. You were lovely. Yeah, you want to give a round of applause? Absolutely. Thanks, Roisin. Now, thanks so much to Roisin and, of course, her family for coming to see us today.